Right then, welcome back to the channel. United are in action tomorrow, 3 o'clock kickoff at home at Old Trafford, and we face Bournemouth. United might be at the centre of a bit of a public media storm. It's quite normal, I would say. But we did get a bit of a boost midweek with probably our best performance of the season. In fact, it was comfortably our best performance of the season. It was tight. It was only a 2-1 win, but I thought we were a lot better value than the scoreline suggested. And it's as if to illustrate the situation United are in, I'm going to sit here and tell you, well, you can't take Bournemouth lightly. And you can't. You absolutely can't. Iraola's Bournemouth have now gone 4 games unbeaten. They are up to 15th place in the league. They've got 16 points from 15 games, which, just about puts them clear of relegation kind of form. But they are 9 points clear of third from the bottom. Everton have got their own situation with what's going on there. They've also collected 10 points from their previous 4 Premier League games. Their recent purple patch has been probably highlighted by a stunning 2-0 win against Newcastle on November the 11th. And they've also found a bit of clinical edge in the final third, I think it would be fair to say. United have won 7 of our previous 8 showdowns against Bournemouth, and they last lost their previous 4 trips to Old Trafford with an aggregate score of 13-3. So how do they play? The tried and tested 4-2-3-1 is probably a little bit closer to a 4-3-3. Iraola to date hasn't really been a total sort of possession-based coach, or one that focuses on building up from the back no matter what. He's not really a coach that forces his players to take risk in the build-up. If the opposition press high, there would be a possibility of losing the ball at the back. He ain't afraid to go direct and long with it. If they're not pressed, they will play out, and they usually try and build up through their fullbacks, which is a little rarer, I would say. For me, I don't like building up through the fullbacks because I think it's an obvious pressing ball. When people line up with a back 4, the fullback's usually a bit of a 45-degree angle to the centre half, going from your goalkeeper to your centre half to one of the fullbacks is such an obvious pass that you just wait and then you curve round, you press the fullback, you win the ball back nice and high. Jobs are good one. So I don't like building up through the fullbacks unless you're going to adjust the sort of shape that the fullback will come into, and that's why I do like a 3-2 build-up where one of the fullbacks rolls in, one of them stays as like a third centre-half, one of them rolls into one side of the D, and you can collect the ball on there, giving you numerical superiority centrally rather than thinking you've got it because you're using the width of the pitch, but nobody's got like a 70-yard switch in them under that sort of pressure, so it's a little bit of a waste of time when it comes to me. Against pretty much any opposition that do play a back 4, they will line up 4-4-2 defensively, and they'll press high on goal kicks, looking to force the opposition to play to one of their centre-halves. And that could be a problem for us, I think, against these tomorrow. The attacking midfielder, or the 10, will press a centre-half that is receiving, whilst the striker covers the pass back to the keeper and sometimes cuts off the other centre-half. And the man-marking element then comes with the ball-side winger marking one of the fullbacks, one of the DMs marking the opposition single pivot, and the other DM sort of pushing onto the ball-side midfielder. If the press is broken or the opposition do go long, then they will again recover into a 4-4-2 mid-block. The aim will to be try and stay compact, stop the central spacing, stop any balls going into that sort of square in the middle of the pitch, and try and force them to attack with a little bit of width. From there, they can look to win the ball back and counter or force the opposition to play backwards and then move the defensive line further up the field. The general trigger to restart being aggressive and press is when the opposition do that sort of simple sideways pass from one centre-half to the other. The star man for them is Dominic Solanke, and he has got 8 goals in 18 this season. He's in really, really good form. And he's a bit of an all-rounder. He's pretty physical, powerful runner, technically pretty good. Manipulates the ball quite well. He's always been someone that can find the back of the net. And they do have very good and tricky wingers, and Solanke has really good instincts inside the penalty area, so you've got to be wary. The United starting 11 that I would go with. I go with similar to what we went the other night in a way. I'm going to make one tweak to it, and some people are going to be upset with this, but it is what it is. I would go with I'll go with Diallo because I'm going to want us to try and attack Bournemouth. I don't think we should be scared of Bournemouth in the slightest. We should attack them. So I'm going to go with Diallo at right back, and I'm going to go with Reguilon at left back, and I'm going to go with Shaw and Maguire at centre half, so we can get on the ball a little bit at centre half. And I'm going to go with a double pivot. This is the headline, I think, for this one is double pivot of Mainoo and Amrabat. And actually pass them off the pitch, especially when they line up in a 4-4-2. It hasn't got the angles to be able to cope with a midfield if it's going to play. So Amrabat, Mainoo, Bruno in the midfield. And then the forwards, well, I don't think you can change what happened the other night. I thought the three forwards were bright despite not really getting a goal. Obviously, we had a Garnacho assist, but I think Garnacho, Anthony and Højlund and really try and put Bournemouth on the back foot. And for me, the match winner in this is probably Luke Shaw. Always looked very accomplished as a centre-half, because I think that the criticisms of Luke Shaw as a fullback are valid. And that is sometimes because he's so potent going forward, he can be caught out of position and often is facing his goal. Facing your goal when defending is a fucking crime, okay? But when he plays at centre-half, well, he's never out of position. He's never too high. He's never caught 50 yards up the pitch when he should be back defending. Like at centre-half, he just defends. And he's not the greatest header of the ball, but you have Maguire next to him and he's fine with that. But all of the other stuff, the 1v1 defending, the duels, the ability to play out, the confidence taking the ball, the fact he's left-footed, all of those things are massive assets for Luke Shaw as a centre-half. And he's not small, as people think. He's got a weird shape to him. So, but he is 6 foot. So, he's not he's not a risk to play at centre-half. I think his ball-playing ability with what I expect will be a high press and his ability to match up athletically against their forwards will be very, very important. As always, this preview is brought to you by our mates at Paramatch UK, and I have another exclusive bet boost that you just can't get anywhere else. And here's what I'm going for against Bournemouth. I'm going with Højlund to score any time. It's about time that he opens his account with a goal. This is the time, this is the place. Old Trafford, Bournemouth, United just kicking into a little bit of form. We need those forwards to start scoring some goals, and I back Højlund to do that. I'm going for over 3.5 match goals. I've got 3-1 in my head as a score, and I think that we're going to get that. We struggle keeping clean sheets at the moment, and they've got some tricky forwards. I can just see that being the case. I also fancy 3-0, but I think 3-1. I think Garnacho's going to have a single shot on target because he gets into great positions. He's just got to build his composure a bit. And Fernandes also gets into great positions, so one shot on target for him. That was 23-5, and I'm able to give it you at 11-2. So that has been boosted. If you're interested in getting in the mix on that, all you got to do is click the link in the description. And as always, prices are subject to change. You've got to be 18 to participate. And I say it every week, but it's the truth. We all know football, and especially Manchester United, are totally unpredictable. So it's just a little bit of a fun to enhance your enjoyment of the game. Certainly not a promise of winning. If you need more information or any help with responsible gaming, please visit begambleaware.org. And once again, this bet is exclusive to me and to Paramatch UK. So click the link, get involved. And if you're not going to get involved, then do me a favour. Let me know what score you're actually going to go for in the comments. How do we beat them? Well, I think it's quite simple. Your fullbacks must be on it, and I think looking at some of the talent, Sinistera, Semenyo, Otara, Clivert, Tavernier, they've got some serious dynamism in the wide areas, and wing plays where they make their gains. That's where they will be the most dangerous. You got to have fullbacks that are on it, and Reguilon and Diallo have been picked for their attacking output. I think United will have a lot of possession in this game, and that's another reason why I went with Mainoo and Amrabat. But they're also going to have to make sure that they get back as well, because they can be dangerous, certainly on the counter, where they will probably get a lot of joy because they go centrally, go against Maguire. It's going to be Luke Shaw defending 1v1. So you've got to be able to make sure that you get back and cover and keep that +1. Secondly, you got to be compact and aggressive, and as mad as that sounds, and as good as our press was, if you leave Amrabat isolated centrally, he will get overrun. And on paper, that they're nowhere near as dangerous as Chelsea, but I actually think that their transition is better than Chelsea's. So you still got to be more compact with the rest defence. That's like the +1 that's behind the ball has got to be compact, own the centre of that pitch. And I think also they will go a lot more direct and longer more often than Chelsea to bypass the press. Chelsea, I don't know what it was with them, man. You saw how shit they were playing out, and they just persisted with it. It was like a training session where the gaffer was like, yeah, I know you're getting caught, keep doing it. Like I do it myself in training ourselves. Like sometimes you'll go, I want you to just do this every single time, and like the opposite, like they know what we're trying to do. I know. And if you actually manage to succeed with a team that knows what you're doing, then you're in good stead, aren't you? But that was what it was like with Chelsea. It was like Potter had just gone play out no matter what. And they didn't have anything that they could go direct to. Well, Bournemouth are different. They do have stuff that they can go direct to, and they will be prepared to battle for it. So you've got to be better. Weirdly, like on paper, that Chelsea team's worth $1 billion. Should absolutely embarrass the Bournemouth one. But Bournemouth will be trickier. I'm still confident of a win. I think United have got goals, and I think Bournemouth's defence will leak those goals. So that's what I'm going for. You guys let me know in the comments. Check out Parry Match in the description. Cheers for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.